welcome, my friends. Everybody's got food, everybody's got drink.
I have
No
heartburn.
food, sadly.
Do you have heartburn?
Yeah, the tomato sauce got me. I had 2 meatball subs.
Oh,
Should have more
man.
garlic.
Someone's
Not
getting
enough garlic.
old.
I'm just hearing not enough garlic. That's all I'm hearing right there.
Oh no, there's garlic. There's the subs were smothered in butter garlic and cheese.
Sounds like a personal
Cheese.
problem. Like, what's wrong with your biology over there, Elris?
Lots.
Yeah, it probably doesn't help that he took very spicy ramen to work and probably ate that for his lunch.
Yes.
Sounds like that was the problem and not the very, very garlicky garlic.
I think you're all just the problem.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm only a little benign.
6.
No, the word you're looking for is malignant.
Alrighty. Well, since we have everyone, I'm going to go ahead and roll the fated d6.
Not it.
1
I
is
call number
Amethyst,
3.
2 is Kiharu, 3 is Derek 4 is
Aw.
one of these, 5 is Pyrrhus, and 6 is Sylph.
Damn, damn.
Oh. Hopefully it's not me, 'cause I don't remember anything. I need my memory
Drew
jogged.
gets to recap.
Who does?
Andrew.
Yeah.
There you go. I just gave you an excellent summary in Dinosaur.
Captivating, Chompy. No,
It was
Dolgus.
very moving.
Not
It was mostly about the
Dolgus.
taste of what he last ate. That
What-
happened last session.
What does Dolgus have to add on about all the shiny, sparkly things that happened?
Sometimes pink skins are good at things. Not very often, Mike, but it happens.
All right. And
Do we
then
remember the major event that happened?
Sylph's dad showed up.
Not at all.
All right. Well, now I'm going to roll d10.
Oh god.
Athena, what do you remember from last session?
Sylph's dad showed up.
'Kay. How's Athena feeling?
Confused.
You guys got some questions answered.
Yep, got questions answered. Some came up positive, some came up some came up maybe.
What did Athena take away from those?
From which ones? Any of them?
Anything that stood out?
That Trinau is in trouble. Not right now, but eventually. And then Roddy, his path is very uncertain right now because there's nothing was able to be answered for him. And Iomade did not bandit her, so that kind of was like, what the fuck?
Okay. Got 4 more people, so boop. 2. Gochin, how were you feeling for last session? What do you remember?
I remember finding out that I need to learn some magics
Yeah.
because they're not just something that you just know by default. You don't just like dig deep, feel the tingles in your back, and then all of a sudden magics.
Why do you need to learn magics?
So I can add it to different weapons.
Is there a particular motivation for wanting to pursue that path?
Because Sarah can't do it.
Ah, and
Makes sense to me.
who are you learning these magics from?
Oh, from Ava.
That's an interesting concept.
I thought it was Sarah's
They call
wife.
hacks. Sounds like hacks.
Oh no, it's entirely okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like hacks.
That's right. I became Ava's apprentice.
Hacks.
And what about some of the questions that you got answered in the little ritual of commune?
Let's see. Oh man, I can't remember my question was.
And Gochin be allowed to be a worshiper of both Torag and Gorum.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's what happened last session. We did a commune.
yeah. That's right, and it came out to be a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
So another thing for Gochin to work towards.
Mm-hmm. Relent. Sylph, how you feeling, buddy?
Sylph is not ready for any of this.
Wait, did you find out you're still going to be a dad?
I don't. I hope.
My
I
memories
hope
of
not.
last session are genuinely not there.
His dad showed up out of nowhere, and that's quite a distance to travel to show up just to check on someone. And he's a
Don't worry,
baron,
boys.
so
We are here to help you. Probably.
Yeah, sell something like important or some shit.
Oh yeah, some sort of noble bit. I vaguely remember this now. It's like, oh wait, you were sitting on that one for a while.
yes.
And, how was the rest of his time off? His month of doing things. The questions that he asked for the commune.
He's not too surprised that at least one of the remaining party members made it out like he did. Just because they were pretty formidable, like, partners. Especially Adalea. So who knows? He's very curious as to which one is alive and how big of an ass whooping he's going to receive upon meeting them.
All the ass whooping.
Yeah.
Isn't it obvious?
Okay. Derek, what's Darlin remember? How was his last session?
Well, Carlin's been in a forge the entire time, so that's all he knows.
Yeah, he was magicking Chompy's armor is one of the things he was doing.
I made Chompy's armor. I made something, I believe, for Amethyst, and then I made something for me too. So my entire month has been me in a hot, sweaty forge, enjoying every minute of it.
I mean, that's basically a spa for a dwarf.
Yeah, I mean,
I was relaxing all day, every day.
You got a moment to talk with the dwarf twins. And I do believe that there was a remembering or a reminder that you've got free drinks for life at the Killing Grounds.
I know. But I have work to do.
Yeah. I don't think you had a question that you dropped in on the community because
Nope.
you dipped out at
I
that
did not.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't feeling too good. But either way, a busy month for Darling, which leaves our wispy fart in the wind Ava.
Who's literally a fart in the wind.
The
Now,
only thing
really,
that's here is Gochin.
no, really. How's Ava doing? She got some questions asked. Talked to some people in town, and towards the end of session, got quite
Ava's
defensive.
Ava's learning what emotions are,
Mm.
and she's been
He's
directed to
not
Gochin to
entirely a
learn that.
robot anymore. It's weird.
Yeah, she's more like angry Terminator now. Yeah, no, Ava's between being busy crafting and learning what emotions are. Ava's having a time of it.
How do you think that's going to project forward for you?
I see a lot more fireballs.
Mm. I mean, such is the nature of an arcane caster.
I mean,
Fireball
Ava
is
thought
a very
herself better.
emotional thing.
Ava thought herself better than that, but apparently it doesn't get much better than a good fireball sometimes.
It's true.
Who can deny the charms of a nice campfire? Oh, what? That's not what Fireball's for?
It can be.
A sort of
Yeah.
campfire.
You can turn your
Fireball's the
enemies into
ultimate
killing.
negotiator.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I
If your
negotiate
problem
this.
isn't
easily
fixed,
negotiated with Fireball on my original Fireball wizard. Up
if
to
your
and
problem,
including having the one survivor of the last group that tried to ambush us sitting in our boat as we rowed down the river, loudly warning the people from his village and nearby villages not to attack us. Otherwise, we would kill them and kill all their kids and kill all their wives and burn their village to the ground. Or at least that's what my character would do, because he was an evil bastard.
look,
And we
clearly,
didn't get attacked again.
if the problem isn't fixed, you're not using enough Fireball.
Hmm.
That said,
And that was the guy that CP stole from me in the best of ways to make the evil baddie of our next campaign. The one that was like slumbering in hibernation because they couldn't kill him because he was immortal, so they just had to put him to sleep.
that said,
No.
Giant Slayer returns. The party collected. Everyone's been brought to the Ivory Hall.
Ivory Hall. Hmm.
Yes.
They better not be about to try and steal Chompy's teeth.
No,
Some
no,
issue
no.
with that.
It is the general place of, governance, or at least what calls for it here within Trunau. Outside were a retinue of Taldan armored guards, something that is not very common within these areas. Something that sent quite the shiver down Sylph's spine. With some reassurance
He's not
from the
really
rest of the
thrilled,
party.
Sure.
With some reassurance from the rest of the party, you all made your way into the main antechamber and were escorted to the meeting room where the heads of Trunau resided. Ruby, Cursed, and a few other council members were present. And standing off to the side of the room was a gentleman who himself is quite familiar, but for the rest of you is new to your view. And show to players.
He is quite dapper.
Very dapper.
Definitely not Syl's dad.
Totally not Sylph's dad.
Well, yeah, because Sylph isn't his name. But yeah. Now, Trump, it's important that we be respectful when people wear fancy clothes like that. Apparently, it's like a big, important thing in Pinkskin society. Now, how to best be respectful? Well, that should be easy. Okay. We're going to go up and make sure you got to do this just right, because I feel like I've tried it a dozen times. It just never seems to work out. But they keep correcting me, and they keep trying to do the same thing because that's what they actually want to do. And go on up there. You gotta go slow, like make sure they don't think you're gonna jump him. And then once you're close enough, you just give him the biggest fucking lick, right? Gotta show him how much you appreciate him.
Oh, this is gonna be lovely.
Come on, we'll do it together. 1, 2, 3. And then the dwarf that thinks he's a lizard and the giant dinosaur slowly start creeping forward.
Ruby is going to be the first one to look over and go, "Whoa there, Chompy. You're quite a bit bigger than I last saw you. The room's not quite big enough for you to be traipsing about."
Leading to them both trying to stick themselves in there, but not being able to.
Like Chompy's like struggling to like get his head through the door that way.
Right.
And Gochen's
right.
gonna say over to Chompy, I think she's calling you fat.
Nah, she wouldn't be doing that. It's not even her fault. The doors are made so damn small. Probably best just to wait till they come out and then we do it.
It would be in this moment that the glances cast from Baron Bradley Landergram I towards the party of Trunau's finest.
Silk will stand behind John Chompy.
Chompy's kind of blocking the door, so you're kind of like blocked in the room. Let's see. As the older man kind of looks upon the group, he would, nod to each of you. Bradley Landergram I, at your service. Or perhaps, and his gaze kind of lingers closer to Sylph, I should say Bradley Landergram II's father, if such a title still holds meaning.
Father.
Dolgus will raise a hand while looking over at the others and doing a large crowd whisper. Wait. Does anyone see someone else that's like not here? Because I only count, and he will use his fingers to count everyone that's in the room. Like this many. Right. Anyone?
It seems the years have taken you far from the halls of your youth, Sylph.
And it seems you still find the shiniest of colors to shine brighter than your ego, Father.
I came a long way, not for
Sylph,
pleasantries.
brother? Why didn't this come up?
for-
Where is he?
What?
You guys, my real name is Bradley. It's a long story. Just call me Sylph. Dad, what's going on?
For a moment, I got my hopes up. Seems you got even more pink skinny than I thought. With a name
Sylph
like that.
Bradley. That sounds like you can go into a business and make board games or something.
Please.
That's what I would do if I had a name like that.
Take a seat.
What's a board game?
Bradley would kind of gesture to the
I was at the game where
meeting
you smack
table.
each other with a board.
Edna's gonna sit down.
It was just too busy conversing with Gochin about the matter of this board game.
Is there any ceiling support beams within this room?
Yeah.
Stealth will lean on the support beam.
Also, you
Oh.
will note that Dolgus, any
yeah.
sort of weird respect Dolgus had for this man is now completely gone because he's been reallocated from possibly important pink-skinned visitor to random family of family. Therefore, just treat him casually with no respect at all because like he's just a regular person.
Ruby would look to the party and it's like, the Baron has come a long way from the lands of Taldor in order to seek this
Quiet,
meeting.
this is important. Now, what about this board game?
That was Ruby, the town leader that you guys have been working for and have been
Yeah.
recently paid by.
I will stop being irritating with Dolgus after this, but Dolgus' response to that does not change.
So, who is all seated and who is all where?
Still is on a support beam.
Ava's sitting.
Edna's sitting next
Also-
to Ava.
I sit too.
Dolgus
Go
will be
to
near the door because that's where Chompy is, and Chompy isn't allowed fully into the room, so,
Not that he's not allowed, he just doesn't fit.
he's not
go
allowed.
to
I mean, Chompy can break through that wall around that door very easily, I imagine. It's just a matter of, well, not smashing a giant hole in the building.
Fair.
and Gochin will be by the door as he tries to like figure out what board games would be with Dolgus. I mean, not, yeah.
Yep. That said, once everyone kind of takes the seats or the places that they planned on, considering that Sylph has not taken a seat, Bradley would not take a seat either, as he plans to keep his eye on the man during the portion of this conversation.
As a dad, he knows, like, fuck, my kid can just jump out a window at any moment.
He just needs to apply. He should have just applied CK3 logic to this. If like your first son's a fuck up, that's fine. Just have like a bunch more and pick your favorite and kill the rest so that they inherit.
I would say Soap was like he didn't mess up, he just didn't think the lifestyle was for him, and he just ventured off.
And he has been, like, disowned.
Yes.
So he is kind of free to do his thing. But that also makes this a bit more curious.
Yes.
So that's why Sylph is prettier than the average person.
Yes.
What do you know? Nobles like usually marry lovely ladies unless they're going for like alliances, in which case, whatever. But genetics add up over time.
I came a long way, not for pleasantries, but for answers. Your abrupt disappearance left some concerns.
And what concerns are these?
Well, namely, when one of your company comes knocking upon my doorstep, I find it curious to find that you had all but fled and left your comrades abandoned. Vancor was vague with details, but it is not often that I get a mercenary company asking for grievances. He thought he would find any remnants of your own pursuit back home.
So, pretty much they just trailed everything back to your place.
That is but one matter. And so
they want you to pay their families?
No, they did not actually ask for money.
And that is why
wanted
the
to pay
board
you
should be
their
0.9
grievances.
lizard folk units long.
Luckily, Vancor seemed to be a amicable individual. After having discovered that you had long since shorn your name for the life of adventure, he had no reason to stay within Taldor. But this did leave me and your mother with concerns and questions. If you were not dead, then where were you? Your sister has been trying to reach you, but with little to go on, letters can simply go nowhere. Where are they to go but the wind?
Sylph would pause and think, because he doesn't know how much his dad knows. Actually, you know what? Who did wait? Did you say who survived?
He said that Vancorp paid him a visit.
Yeah, I'm just trying to scroll all the way up to when you and I were talking about Sylph's
It is
back.
pinned.
And yours and mine conversation. Oh, there we go.
Mhm.
Man, hell yeah, good job.
Vancorp was initially supposed to be my contact to keep an eye on you. So, when it came to the news that things had dissolved in so brutal a fashion, well, let's just say your mother's heart couldn't take it very well. As I said, I am not here for pleasantries, here for answers. And now at least I have one for your mother. God's rest her soul.
Wait, did you just say mom's dead?
Gone. She passed last year in her garden. It was peaceful, or so I'm told. Though she never really knew that peace too much, at least not where you were concerned.
Why would they even bring news that far to you to tell about mom's death? You guys haven't been together for years.
It's not entirely true. After your leaving of the manor, the family came back together to a certain degree. Dorian, while he had business with the Taldan Navy, made sure to check in from time to time. Evangeline took to the courts, but has been ever the one to make sure that family affairs were taken care of back home. Even taking care of your mother in her last years.
Did she even try and did you guys try and reach out to me at all? Like I mean, you had Vancouver trailing me.
Yes, but where were we to send information to you when you all but go missing? The wind does not exactly make for a good courier. You've been gone several years, Sylph. Your company disparate within the last 3.
Sylph would clench his fists and say, "Father, you can't call me that. You don't get that privilege to call me Sylph." Now, Bradley, you knew me as Bradley. You don't know me as the one that they know as Sylph. Even Vanker doesn't know me really as Sylph.
That's fine. Things are tumultuous back in Taldor. Not that you would probably care. Reformation is on the winds.
I mean, I ran away because I did care. I fought a lot of monsters to stop a lot of towns from being slaughtered. I rescued slaves. I mean, this is all around the towns and the hamlets around the place that you ruled, and you didn't even see it.
Oh, we saw things. You needn't worry about that. In fact, come to my surprise to hear that you're regarded as a hero amongst this frontier town. A boy who was worried about a hunt in his youth. Kind of brought a chuckle to my face. So I came here to see what these rumors were about. You underestimate the connections that the Landograms have, even abroad. News of your exploits traveled through the merchant caravans, even all the way to Vigil, place where trade deals are still quite flush for our family back home. Crusaders are always in need of those willing to join the cause. I stand here not to judge you, Bradley. Now that I've finally been able to track you down, I simply am here to deliver the news. And I felt it impersonal to do so through just a simple letter.
Wait. You came all this way to tell me that Mom died?
To give you the news of your siblings. To see exactly who you are where you stand now. As I said, I'm here for answers.
I'm doing what I feel is right. What I feel that Mom would have wanted. What she would have wanted me to show my siblings how to, like, stand up for yourself, to fight for what's right. I mean, the fact that she came back to you and wanted to die at home, I guess that says something that I didn't see when I ran. There must be something about you that she sees more than I can. And the fact that you're here just to check up on me shows quite a bit. I didn't run away from you guys. I ran towards the future that Mom brought me up to try and be.
So it would seem.
It just so happens I messed up a little bit and I ran away. I hope you didn't bring Vancouver with you because I don't want to deal with that right now.
Well, I've been able to take Vancor's information and extrapolate upon it. Using what context we have within the family, no, I have not been in contact with him or the rest of the surviving members of Cade & Company.
There's more?
I don't know exactly who yet remains within the party, but Vancor made it clear that there was still the beating heart within. Whatever grievances he sought to deal with upon meeting you back in Taldor, that's for you and your decisions.
Sylph would put his hand on his face and wipe it downwards. And he would go, Dad, what would you do right now if you were me? I mean, the Cade & Company knew what they signed up for. We fought knowing that every day could be our last. I ran because I thought it was the end. That's just what happened. I don't know why I ran. Is that what I tell him? I don't know why I ran. I just ran.
I apologize, Bradley, but it's in these moments that you have to come up with your own answers. I can't have been there in your head at the time that you made these choices. But understand that whatever answer you give, if you ever cross paths again, make it your truth. Even as we came to our own disagreements back home, I've ever tried to make sure that you understood where I stand.
Did Mom find the courage to tell you why she ran?
He nods.
Sylph would sigh and shrug and look down and go, You're right. I should just be truthful.
That said, I'm not here to interrupt the business, and from what I understand to the testimonials of the townsfolk, your heroics have gotten you. I can acknowledge deeds done.
Is the group out of character? Is the group staying the night in Ternau for another night, or are we venturing out?
You have not been given orders or anything like that. So you probably assume that you're probably staying at least another night or so.
Okay, then Sylph would get a grin on his face, pat his dad on the shoulder as hard as he can, and go, "Oh no, father. Tonight I want you to experience Sylph. And we will be staying at the Bramble House."
He raises an eyebrow.
And I want you to meet my group. Well, sorry, not my group, my friends. And he would gesture towards everyone.
He looks at the eccentric group of adventurers who have remained relatively quiet during this.
Ah, so you think it should be about a lizard tailing too? Yeah. What do we do with the board? That's the important
This
Justin, I
one
think he's talking to you.
is Dulgus.
I think Coach had died.
He died pretty quickly this time.
I know,
Oh.
right?
There he
Hearing
is.
all
here.
this, Sylph is gonna squeeze on over to Roddy and plan a night of bardry with his father.
Oh, what did I miss?
Oh, we
Guys,
were
we're
just
gonna have a
continuing our
funeral for you.
conversation on the proper size for a board and whatever the hell this board game was.
Oh,
Whether or not they need to be thick enough to hit people with. Sadly, however, I don't think there's any way out of the room currently, as Trumpy's big fat head is still blocking the entrance.
It's just giant breathing coming through the door.
There is some excessive tail wagging going on.
Yes, and you do hear like it brushing against the opposite side of the wall and occasionally knocking into certain things.
Edna would make sure she properly introduced herself before going over to Roddy and Sylph, and then just glaring at Sylph.
Sylph would look over at Ethne and just do like the what gesture.
You're a pain in the ass.
I'm a pain in his ass. I'm your friend. And he bops around the nose.
You're still a pain in the ass.
And Sylph would just smile.
Ava just nods.
Well,
At least the daddy problems make sense.
all things considered, the group is free to roam back through True now that connections have been established. The council is more so just there in case things got terse. As Cursed did seem to have like extra blackened blades on the ready in the event that things went awry.
Sylph is going to do everything in his power to not let any type of argument ensue. Other than the son and father, banter.
I should, however, send this little tidbit of information to you. Let's go ahead and edit this. Did Darlin fall asleep?
Yep, Garland falls asleep. Like, in the middle of him talking about his parents, and it's just like, just
Sleeping.
out fucking cold.
You just hear the armor go clunk.
All that working and not getting any rest just caught up to him finally.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure that Darlin will be lugged somewhere for better rest and recuperation. But the rest of you are free to leave the Ivory Hall for the time being. Ava would be stopped on the way out, however.
Oh, I know you took their shit.
Sylph and
stopping
Roddy will probably both put their arms around Bradley, and they would start wandering off to the Bramble House.
Probably wouldn't, because it's like, this is your dad, and he's kind of got a odd relation with his own father. So, but he will definitely, like, be trailing fairly closely.
Roddy, put your goddamn arm around him.
Like, even Bradley is a little, like, unsure of how to take the display. You know that your father has always been a relatively,
Whoa.
not as much of a shower, but a man of actions.
Yes, and Bradley the second was just the one that would always mind himself and follow orders. But Sylph, on the other hand, is a free spirit. So he is touching his father all over the place.
Ooh, I don't know if you should do that in public.
Hugs all around. He's going to be introduced to his new son.
Oh, well, in that case, would he like to get the Chompy welcome?
I mean, they have to go through Chompy to get out of the room, and Chompy does, like,
Eh.
pull his head back.
Let's let a few drinks enter father's body, and then we'll have a
No,
and we'll
no.
introduce
Now that
Chompy
it comes
to
to
him.
mind, Dolgus never told Chompy that the plan was not a go, just that we had to wait. So, I mean, the moment he gets in range, Chompy's probably just going to lick the guy. Get full.
So Ava gets stopped on her way out.
Mm-hmm. It would be Curse that would actually have you hang back for a moment.
The problem.
No, I just wanted to make sure that we kept you apprised of where things were. Seems that scouting reports indicate a influx of giant traffic into the mine spin as of recent. Seems that this Minder Halls Valley is sending out a calling card for all those that would wish to fall under the banner of this storm tyrant. We're going to need to make sure that your group is on the move soon.
Understood. I'll make sure that they're ready to go in a few days. I don't anticipate Syl being, well, in full control of his faculties come morning.
You have at least a few days, but most concerning is that amongst the giants we've been able to confirm the presence of, it would seem that the strongest amongst them are stone giants or others of their general capabilities.
How
Maybe even an ash
unfortunate.
giant or two.
That is a significant threat.
Indeed. Feel free to disseminate the information as you see fit amongst your party. The blackened blades and the smoking guns will do what they can to see you supplied before you are to make your departure.
Very well.
Thank you, Ava.
Eva just nods her head. Ava will go find Ethene and inform her of what she just heard.
Edina will just kind of like stares like, shit. That's just great news. Great news, Ava.
Indeed.
So, how are you telling the rest of the party? You're gonna wait till morning?
It is unlikely that they will be coherent in the next 15 minutes. So, most likely, yes.
I give them 10 minutes and they'll be incoherent. But sounds like a plan.
Everyone competent has been notified. Except Chompy, but he's more of the eating competency.
Wow, I appreciate you being in your competent circle.
As small as it is. It'd best be starting our preparations. Sounds like the threat's going to be quite significant from here out.
They're giants. I'm not surprised.
Have a quiet night.
Well, I'm staying at the Ramble House, so it probably won't be quiet for me, but I hope yours is.
We'll see about that. And Ava will leave.
Yep. And Edna will be heading towards the Ramble House still.
So, probably a mid-transit from, like, the Ivory Hall and the Ramble House. Like, between Chompy and Dolgus, who are still on their game plan, the Baron is likely to be licked at some point. Even if, like, some sneak attacks are thwarted, Chompy will have his lick.
I'm just picturing a stone-faced General Armstrong dodging attacks.
Yeah, he can't really dodge. He's not going to really be able to dodge it for too long. Chompy's very persistent.
Yes, it's not so much a matter of if, but a matter of when. But there is a practiced like grace of movement when it comes to Bradley Landergram. It does seem like, and at least from what Sylph would understand, he is a old combat veteran
Yes.
from the earlier days of, Taldor's usual inquests against Kadira and even occasionally Andoran. That said, he does seem to be acquiescing to Sylph's request of a evening of some merit of revelry. So, I suppose the question is who's all attending the Ramble House for the time being?
Edna.
Ava's gonna find somewhere else to sleep.
That's totally fine. I do believe that you've
I also
had other
assume
locations.
Chompy's large form can't fit in the Ramble House.
No, because you gotta remember that the Ramble House is specifically made to be, like, medium size, but on the smaller side of the medium size. So it's just uncomfortable for people who are, like, above 5 foot, 11. Because, the owner is kind of racist to, taller folk. Because, gnome, halfling, one of the two. Yeah. So dwarves, fine. Humans or Gochin, it's a little cramped.
Yep. Chompy's eye will be pressed against the nearest window at all times.
Yes.
Just like lunches inside. Oh,
Every once
Yeah.
in a while, the Ramble House would bring out a couple platters of roast pork or, barbecued lamb.
I don't even think you need to cook it. Choppy would just eat it. It'd be
There's
like,
just
"Good."
this lovely family eating a roast at the table, and like the sound of the squeegee going across the window is just rapidly sounding off in his Chompy's eye.
Licking the windows. The
Yeah.
Choppy's like, mm. Brings new meaning to window liquor.
I suppose that while revelry is going on, is there anything that you're trying to get out of your father in terms of information, in terms of questions you may have?
I see you have caught on.
Oh, I fully expected this. I have answers.
Well, when spirits are flowing, answers are easier to obtain.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, if they're drinking, and if Sylph's father is having some spirits of his own, Sylph would sit next to him and just, I guess, drink in silence until, I guess, he feels a little comfortable enough to start popping off some questions.
He would certainly ask about the party as a whole. Get introductions from people, from those that haven't stepped up to him personally. He understands that Ava and Ethna are the two, ladies of the party that were actually, had manners.
Yes.
Now, exactly what they told him is up to them, whether they gave professions or any details about their abilities. I leave that to them to
Wait, is
ascribe
Ava
them.
not attending this, or is she just not sleeping here? So is she here but just not sleeping here? Or is she just not attending this event in general?
I think she's basically not there at all.
Okay.
I don't know. That's up to Pierce.
Ava sleeping.
Darlin's definitely sleeping. So Darlin's not there. But yeah, no, you could describe your party members to your heart's content, as he would ask about your recent ventures, prod a little bit into the validity of what some of the townspeople have been echoing about town. This whole matter of orc invasions and taking on giants. He seems a bit surprised at your sudden influx of bravery.
Yeah, Sylph would, let, I guess, talk about the moment when he had fled the Caden company during that attack, and then within that moment, kind of like sparked this new like flame in him to never let something like that happen again. He's been trying to live by that word, and like trying to be a little bit more loose upon how he goes about life. Because within the Caden company, sure, they were a fun, joyous bunch, but he was also very hard and stern, like Bradley raised him to be like against like what his mother taught him. For some reason, when it came to like a war or like some type of caravan or military formation, he became a lot like his father. And when he ran, he kind of ran away from that at the same time as abandoning his group.
Bradley would, of course, cast a glance over to the allies that did decide to join the Ramble House. Actually, the good question is did Gochin decide to come to the Ramble House?
How many of us are sleeping right now?
Everyone is asleep.
Everyone is being visited in dreams by the great Bakrug.
It seems so. I mean, Bradley would be casting a particularly, like, curious glance Dolgus's way, as the dwarf has decided to be in loincloth most of the time that he's been in True Now.
Oh yeah, I was literally just about to say that. Yeah, he's not prepping for battle, so he's not wearing his armor, which means he's in basically mostly nude loincloth mode.
Yep.
With a cloud
would
of stink
explain
about
to
him
us.
as long as Ava's not around.
Sylph will lean over and be like, that one's the Dolgus over there now. He's a lizard. And Sylph will look at his dad dead in his eyes and nod his head. He's a lizard. I'm just mentioning this now. I know formalities are your thing, but he's a lizard. And Sylph would slowly turn back to his cup and start drinking as he's just wide-eyed and staring forward.
Give me a bluff check to, like, pass secret messages.
Where's my bluff? Hang
Because
There it is.
this is a legitimate use of the skill, actually. While it's not your best face skill, you do believe you conveyed the message across to your father in a way that he got. As, like, you did not, like, look back to Dolgus when explaining the situation. All he does is kind of lean over to, like, where Ethna is kind of sitting and goes, "A lizard," he says.
That's. Yep. Yep. He's a lizard.
Understood.
Hence the T-Rex.
Never quite understood the druids of the Viduran forest. I suppose that he might be considered of similar teachings.
My understanding is he was raised by lizards, so he is a lizard.
Don't let the man fool you, though, Dad. He could take down a village by himself. The man is strong and very powerful.
I would not doubt such a thing for one who has tamed a creature such as... And he looks at the eyeball at the window. That.
Just squeegee sounds going off.
There are many a tale of those who have...
Muffled tail wumps against the wall.
There are many a tale of those who are tasked with the grace of securing the treaty annually with the Druids of the Wildwood Lodge up the Selin. I never had the honor myself, but from the tale that Dorian had told, they are quite the eclectic people.
And Dorian's been all the way out there?
Indeed. He's lived quite the life since you've left. He even has a wife and child at this point.
What? I have nieces and nephews?
There is a Bradley Landergram III at this point.
Sylph's eyes would just widen and his mouth would just drop. Man, one of these days, when I become whatever the hell I'm becoming, I'm going to have to say hi to him.
I'm sure that your brother and sister would be more than happy to see you, estranged as we may be. Maybe once you've found what you're looking for in these frontier lands, home can be just that. I may have been a bit forward with our separation. I don't know what to make of you in your current state. but I felt it necessary to at least extend the arm.
You know, I'll come home whenever. I think now more than ever, I'm ready to, I guess, take responsibility. I know that's what you've been wanting this whole time, but it's not what I thought I wanted this whole time. But I guess with you being a dad, you kind of do know what to tell your kids, whether they want to hear it or not, and then he'll kind of kick his feet on the floor.
Behind Sylph's, like, Roddy's just kind of, like, in his own cups and gives Ethna, like, the eye of, like, what the hell is going on?
Edna's just gonna shrug her shoulders back at him, like,
Sylph would kind of catch on to a quick stare, and he would go, "And Roddy!"
That just immediately, like, back into his cups like nothing was going on.
And Sylph would pat him on the back. And this man, father, had the... You know what? He's quite the charmer. And he would pat him even harder on the back.
There is that, like, halfway, like, spit into his cup kind of thing, like, how fucking dare you.
He has a very, and he pats him harder, enchanting personality. We've grown quite fond of each other.
Edna's just gonna stare at Sylph, just like, what the fuck?
It's like, yep, quite the slap, enchanting slap friend.
I'm gonna go see if Cham needs anything else moved in the back. As Roddy, like, gets up and pats you on the back. A bit firmer than he probably should have, and almost like,
I'd have just punched you.
You, quite the eccentric club of friends. I dare say even more than those that you had with you before.
Actually, you're kind of just witnessing the moments that I have with a lot of the groups that I guess, came across. You know, sometimes, Dad, it is better to see things in a more loose way. Look at what I'm accomplishing with my friends on top of not thinking like... And then he would, like, put both his hands in, like, a cup fashion and sweep up and down. Like this. Like you.
You have to understand that the military demands order. And it is in that regiment, that band of brothers and sisters, that things are achieved. Be that the Crusades, be that contingents against Kandira infiltrators, or be that in bearing the firm hand at the borders against the bandits and those that Andorn has left content to their freedoms. The Tandak Plains where you grew up were always rife with those that would cross the border from Andoran. Hence those that you would deem as beasts and monsters that need be slain. To ensure peace. Order assists making sure that such things are held fast. Here in the frontier lands, the rules are different. I'll agree with that. You take justice into your own hands. And sometimes, as he kind of looks around to the rest of the Ramble House, smiling faces out and about, there are still damages from the raid from the orcs when they came about, but things are on the mend. Sometimes greatness can be achieved. I hope
I'd like
this
to
is an
think
upward
so.
trend for you.
I mean, I hope it is. But then again, I am who I am.
You are Sylph.
And he would do like a ta-da like pose at Athene, like she said it.
And she'll slam her head on the bar.
Just like your mother.
And I hope that makes you proud. For a change.
I was
I mean,
proud when you left.
She did come back and, I guess, want to pass away there, so that makes me happy. You're a grandfather. Oh my god.
He would smile and nod.
I mean, you wake up and you look in the mirror and you go, look at all these grays, and then you do you. There's still a piece of you that I still look up to like a kid. And it's funny to say this, but there's a little bit of Sylph in you too, Dad. And he'll boop him on the nose.
He'll shake his head and just take a swig of whatever amounts for a beverage within the Ramble House. He'll kind of just give a light sigh and look back to your brother is likely to take up head of household in the next couple of years.
Yeah, Sylph would, sit down in more of a mature manner. Just go, yeah. So is he happy about it?
He's ready for it.
I mean, I hope so.
But I am not here to damper the mood, or just make sure you know what's going on. And now that you have, and he kind of looks around, friends and what seems to be some merit of roots, maybe your sister's letters will finally find a destination.
No, I hope they do.
That said, I shall not take up too much more of your evenings. I do have a few other matters here within Trunau to take care of, whilst I am here. So I bid you all a fair evening.
Before you go, Dad, and this is Sylph will kind of slowly talk, like quietly talk about this. Like, did you hear everything about the Caden company? Like, what all do you know? Do you know it all, or do you just know what you've been told?
I know about your exploits within the Dark Moon Vale. I know tragedy struck, even after a valiant victory. I know that a few of your number died, and that majority of you lived. Though what condition those that remained were is not given privy to. I can confirm that Vankor yet lives in most of the health. He's got a nasty gash from his neck down, teeming with necromantic energies.
Sylph would get a serious look on his face. Like an angry look. He's actually starting to look angry.
He is not too pleased about the outcome.
I wouldn't be either.
But it sounds like those that you were dealing with, this kobold king of the Vale, undead though it might have been, was vanquished, even if it may have cursed your once ally.
That sucked for his dad. When his dad said that really sucked for Sylph to hear that the once was part, because Sylph knows that that's reality, and that just sucked right there. That phrase was a dose of reality. Well, hopefully I can see him eventually. And whether or not he wants to confront me in a physical way, I still want to at least let him know my side. And at least it might not be closure by telling him that I don't know why I ran, but at least I can tell him that there was no reason. I just ran.
You'll have time to come to that answer. I'm sure. Maybe you'll never have to give it.
True.
Fate's fickle like that. But again, your evening is yours and your companions. It was a enlightening experience to meet you all. Kind of looks back over to the eyeball that's still kind of just like gazing through the rest of the Ramble House. If you've need of contacting the home estate, I do believe that the council here now has at least base contact.
And if you ever need help, you know how to find me.
For now. Until you go gallivanting off into danger yet again.
Well, then you just follow the songs of the wind. I'm sure someone will be singing. And you'll hear a tale of the bard.
I'll pat you on the shoulder. Good night, Bradley.
Good night, Dad.
And he will leave.
Sylph starts drinking hastily.
Party, what do your evenings look like?
Well, I imagine for Chompy and Dolgus, at some point other than drinking at the Ramble House, it's going to be causing a ruckus as they chase each other through the town. Dolgus wild-shaped into a huge-sized Allosaurus.
Oh, you gonna get the kids to chase you in the streets? Because while you might be chasing Chompy, or Chompy might be chasing you, the kids now know this as a game. Because there are only 2 people / creatures within this town that are dinos. And they all want to catch the dino. Now, of course, you guys are too big and too fast in order for them to catch. But they still will try nonetheless, cackling and, giggling
I'm
the
sure
entire
Dolgus
way.
wouldn't mind playing with the pink skin hatchlings. He'd probably go slow. Chompy seems to like kids, too.
What's up next? What's the evening look for other people?
Ava's gonna find somewhere high up and away from the Ramble House.
About the highest place you could probably get in town would be back towards the Ivory Hall. But if you wanted something a little more scenic, probably the Hope Spring.
Dang it! That's where I was gonna go.
Yeah, Ava will go to the Hope Spring.
I go where I can drink all the ale I need.
Which is the killing ground, clearly.
Before going to bed, Sylph was also going to go to the Hope Spring somewhere secluded, not knowing Ava is there, to think.
We're gonna see whether or not you two cross paths later. For now, I'd like to get some time in for our other wayward players.
Mm-hmm.
As I understand that this has been a very Sylph-centric beginning.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Sometimes these moments come up, and I got something for everyone. We had Athena's moment.
Huh?
We'll
What?
get moments for other people. That said, what are you doing at the Hope Spring there, Ava?
She's not gonna do much. She's gonna find somewhere like flat where she can lay down and stare at the stars. She's mostly trying to avoid Sylph and his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Ava
Okay.
is now dealing with those things people call feelings and isn't sure what to do about them.
I see. Just kind of planning on staying out there for a good portion of the night?
Oh yeah.
All right. One of these You are being summoned.
Sacrifice a small child.
You summon thee by night. Mumbai. Alright, now we take out somebody's heart. Sils, come here.
Wait, aren't you sleeping?
No. Not anymore. I went
Okay.
drinking.
Darlin was sleeping, and then he went to go get booze. You guys are goofballs. Well, it seems one of these has died from his Canadian Wi-Fi. You know, the 5G towers up there actually, do indeed get cancer, so. Damn Canadians.
He's muted. Do you think he knows he's muted?
Probably not.
Wouldn't put it past him. Silly one.
He got
trick for
distracted
kids.
by someone talking Canadian to him, and now he's trying to reply in 2 separate languages.
Well, Ethna, you had tracked after Roddy. He's just helping Cham here and there.
So I see you actually were going to help him.
I help around town here and there. Doing what I can.
Here, I thought it was just you trying to get away from Sylph.
Oh, 100%. But, you can still do something in, the meantime. You have to at least give some illusion that the lie is, somewhat true.
And you left a comrade behind. How dare you?
Ta-ta-ta-ta. He's got his own parent drama. I've got mine. And, all things said, we were there when it mattered. When the conversation started. And, once you start dragging me in and, bring up past things, that can wait for the, I don't know, second, third meeting.
Second, third date. They were just roommates.
So you have daddy issues too? We should make a club.
Look, I wouldn't necessarily call them issues. I've kind of fumbled the execution of things recently.
I know of. I don't know the whole story.
Let's just say that my brother Jake was always kind of the expert when it came to matters here in Trunau. Whether it was his investigative abilities, whether it was his ability to lead, whether it was his ability to inspire. I write poems, I write literature, I dabble in more artistic expressions. And while I can hold my own in battle, I was never quite my brother's equal, and I was fine with that. I enjoyed my time with the Blackened Blades and the camaraderie that it brought, and being somewhat more of the jokester, the people who brought smiles to their faces and uplifted them in times when things kind of seemed shitty. Get a lot of that out here in Hold Belkson. My father is not exactly keen on that. And while we never really overtly fought about such things,
You could always tell there was a certain amount of favoritism. As I said, I never really envied my brother for such things. I never really wanted the responsibility in the first place. I was content to just enjoy the muses that passed through town and be my own person. Jake even encouraged such things. But when Father learned that Jake had designs to marry off with Brynja and had out to Vigil to become a bigger name, a more prolific investigator, well, relations kind of got a little tenser. Expectations began to rise, and they started to bicker between each other, and I was kind of caught in the middle. Wouldn't call it daddy issues in the same regards of being exiled from family, but sometimes I like to pull occasional pranks, and I got used as an accessory. Trying to correct the mistake, I'm not exactly as bright as my brother. And so there are a lot of things that I now have to carry out of guilt. I'm not as effective as a leader, and so I've made bad calls, and that got people killed.
We all make bad calls, but that doesn't make you less of a leader. Just
Well,
speaking from experience.
I understand. The rest of your party, definitely sees me for each of my very distinct and very upfront failures. Even if they won't necessarily understand where those came from. And I'm not here to tell them otherwise. They're the ones who cleaned it all up, after all.
Edna will walk closer to Roddy and put her hand on his shoulders. I don't see you any different. So you can rest assured, I have your back. They may look at you different, but I don't.
Thank you. You and Sylph are probably the only ones that think that way. Gochin still doesn't look at me the same.
Gochin's young. Give him time.
Hmm.
Let him experience the world some more.
So long as he stops going after grandmothers.
God, please stop going after grandmothers.
One's characters always have the weirdest types.
So true.
He just needs a JoJo reference. Quick, somebody throw one out there.
Right. But, no. Roddy's just, kind of vibing with, the support.
I'm getting drunk because it's going to get a sailor's hat.
You want to go check out what's going on at the Killing Ground?
Sure, why not? I got nothing else to do.
The Rambo house is a bit, full, he says, as, the nightlife is starting to, get going, and, even though the dinosaur may have left, it's probably just a change of scene for, both parties involved.
Yeah, I'm not wanting to sit around and watch Sylph drink himself silly.
Should still probably, let him know I'm leaving.
True. Why don't you go do that? I'll meet you at the door.
He nods. Roddy'll head over to Sylph and kind of pat him on the back. You gonna make it tonight?
Yeah, I'll be fine. I think I'm gonna wander off and then just think for a bit.
Sure you don't need anybody to watch you?
Oh, I'll be fine.
All right, well. Breathe it on through. I know that dealing with grumpy dads is not exactly the easiest thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You would know. You would know. Yep. You know what, Roddy? You're right. I'll be okay. And he'll put his hand on his shoulder. I think I'm gonna go up to the Hope Spring. And I'm letting you know, just in case you get worried, you can always find me there.
All right. We'll
Dead
probably
body
be at the
floating in
killing
the spring.
ground.
What's that?
We'll probably be at the killing ground. Where you
All
can
right.
get desserts and booze to your heart's delight.
Well, enjoy yourself.
Aye. And he'll pat you on the shoulder and head on out. As each of you head your disparate ways, the echoes of loud T-Rex roars and screeches from an Allosaurus kind of echo throughout Trunau. It's not that big of a town, but, it's still big enough that you just can hear the atmosphere of Trunau's nightlife kind of kicking together. Nice little peaceful, time that you guys have all kind of gifted back to those that still remain. Darlin's able to drink his, fixings as much as he wants. All the latest, imports, be it from Vigil, the Five Kings, some, special fare from the Bloodsworn Vale, maybe even some Corvosan brandy.
Gonna
Eventually.
be drinking all of it.
Eventually, Ethna and Roddy would join in the festivities, as there are also desserts and delicacies that get brought to the place, as it's kind of more of a little socialite hangout than just getting your mugs and not really sticking around much longer than that, as it is strictly a drinking and fighting place.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Gochin has meandered off somewhere. Ava's looking at the stars, just kind of trying to collect herself, and considering that she decided she wanted to be there for an extended time this evening. Sylph, I'm going to require you to roll me a perception check as you make your way up to the Hope Spring.
All right.
That'd be enough to see the small figure of Ava kind of just laying out amongst the stones that make up the upper reach of the Hope Spring. Perfect place to kind of look towards the open-aired sky. The
Sylph
sounds of clamor have all but silenced by this point.
Sylph will just go, and then keep making his way to find some spot he can sit.
Just be quiet on his own.
Yeah.
Okay. Ava, I'll allow you a perception check as well.
while he has not come to disturb you, out of the corner of your eye, you would in fact note Sylph kind of finding his own little quiet spot off to the distance, as there is plenty of space amongst the open cliff area of the Hope Springs to suit you both, as the sound of the falling waters kind of adds a nice ambiance to the evening. The crickets and other nightlife, insects kind of making a dancing tune along the winds.
Eva will let the silence kind of settle for a little bit before she looks over at Syl. You seem to have a good relationship with your father.
A little bit. We never really had a good relationship. He was a father though. He took care of me. There was a roof over my head, and I got to eat. But
Could be worse.
It could have been. You're right.
I understand some of the difficulties that come with one's parents.
I just never fit in. I always felt different than everyone else. While everyone's being uptight and full of manners, I wanted to explore and fight off imaginary monsters.
Sometimes fitting in is someone's way of avoiding the consequences of perhaps wanting something different.
That's a good way of looking at it. What were your parents like?
You see lightning crackle around her.
Sylph would inch closer and kind of smile and be like, I get that.
If we ever see them, I will kill them.
Would you need help?
I don't know. But I don't think I'd be able to hold myself back if I did see them again. My temperament has recently changed after seeing some of the things at the fort. Reminded me of before I left.
You're pretty quiet about where you're from. But you know what? That's okay too. You're doing a lot of good now.
If you say so. I've found that doesn't matter if it's good or bad. The only thing that matters is power. For without it, only the strong have a say.
Yeah, we can change your mind on that.
She gives you a sad smile. I don't think you will. Just matters the attitudes of those who have the power.
Yeah, you'd be all alone though. You'd have all this power with no one to share it with.
Well, there are plenty of powerful people. It's all a matter of maintaining your viewpoints. If you look at our group now, compared to where we were back when everything went to hell, we're significantly more powerful. And yet we're not alone. Not only do we have ourselves, but we have those beneath us, or weaker than us. I seek freedom. The kind of freedom that can only be found with strength.
Sylph will hold his fist up towards like the stars and put his thumb out. And then he will ask Ava to do the same thing, to put her thumb out towards one of the stars and cover it.
She'll do it.
No, see? Before you wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have joined along with my little stuff. So I guess you are feeling stuff. That's pretty cool.
Ava frowns and puts her hand down. Things have changed.
Yeah, and I think
But
you're doing good. I don't think you need all the power that you think you need to be who you are. I think you've always been this.
I think that should we encounter my parents, you'll change your mind.
Oh, I'm sure I
my
will.
temperament might have changed. My plans do not.
Whatever horrible thing they've done to you, I'm sure they deserve every bit of it coming, and I'll be glad, and I'm sure everyone else will be, to assist you. Within reason, Ava. Within reason, let's not just, murder. Let's initiate battle or something.
What's reason? What my parents did was reasonable to them. It's a question of morals. And they change based on culture and individual. But what makes your morals more important than another's?
Sylph is now getting puzzled because everything Ava is saying to him makes a lot of sense, but it's not in the nice way that he wants to hear it, but he still understands it because it's right.
The unfortunate lesson of this world is that your morals matter more because you are able to enforce them. That is how society works. That is why gods exist, instead of just letting people run rampant, because they are able to enforce their laws and morals. This is not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing either. It just simply is.
Those poor gods. All they are just trying to be themselves. And now all the people underneath them, as you would say, have made all these rules and all these names and all these stories. And they believe them.
Some of them are true. Gods are no different than powerful spirits. Worthy of respect, for sure. For their power. But not for just existing.
And do you think they have each other, or are they alone?
Oh, for sure. If you believe any of the stories, they have each other. For enemies, for lovers, and everything in between. No matter how powerful you grow, there will always be a bigger fish. You will always find companions and enemies.
Man, Ava, that is some serious stuff.
Luck is merely having more of one over the other.
So we gotta get stronger.
Yes. And in a few days, we'll be leaving. The giants gather. And more powerful giants are heeding the call of that Storm King.
Sylph would put his thumb into his fist and lower it and feel like, so this is going to be a serious battle.
I suspect it's going to be more than a battle. This is something that is likely to be an extended tour. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I suspect we might not be back to Trunau for some time. Weeks, perhaps months, or longer.
Oh man.
Perhaps I'm wrong. That'd be a pleasant surprise. But it's rare that I'm wrong.
Yeah, it is. It's really rare that you're wrong. That's true. And Salt to just be nodding. And just for your sake, as much as I would love to tell the party, I never saw you up here. You never saw that I was coherently talking. We'll leave it at that.
Your coherence is overly exaggerated. She gives a smile.
And Silva go, then I won't tell him that one either.
Perhaps they'll find out in time.
He will pat her on the head and get up and wander off with his hands in his pocket.
Ava's just going to remain staring at the stars.
That was such an anime moment.
And one was asleep for all of it.
That was awesome. That was so cool.
I will say that depending on how that conversation went, Ava could have gone full evil.
Oh yes, yes. The lightning set it off.
Wow.
That was cool.
I've not seen Pyrrhus in his pocket like that in forever.
I've only been sitting on that reveal for 2 books.
That was sweet. That was a good way of segueing it.
I'm giddy. I had bad backstory chops sent to me as soon as you're able, Pierce. I have work to do.
That was so cool.
I mean, I got stuff for all sorts of things, but I got plans to make now.
And the party won't know. At least from Sylph. That is up to Ava to inquire, not inquire, but to let them know of the conversation.
Excellent.
Sylph know that Ava has to keep her tough image going.
Ava doesn't think she has to keep up an image. She just prefers to keep things distanced because it's worked so far. And now it's not, because of PTSD.
Good old PTSD.
Well, I suppose that it is at this point that the evenings begin to blend into the later night stage. Is there anything final that people would like for their evenings to occur?
Sylph would go to the Ramble House, and he not for like any type of banter or scene or anything, but he'll just write a note to give his father before he leaves to kind of say some things to his family.
Fair enough. You can send that to me in DMs or talk to me about it later.
Okay.
And contemplate what that looks like.
Yeah.
I see Derek is rolling secret dice.
What?
Oh, what has the dice spoke to you this day?
Darla ends up passing out to one place.
At the killing grounds?
Yeah. He
All
drinks
right.
himself into a stupor. I was rolling to see whether or not he would do a bar fight or pass out.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Dulgus, where are you passing out this evening?
Well, near the Ramble House.
Okay. Any final details or pins on the night that you'd like to place?
Any pots and
Not
pans
really.
on the door?
Very well. Go Chen! Do you live? Do you breathe?
There he is. Maybe.
Live.
How much
Oh,
of the
you're
last
alive.
hour have you have you like taken in?
You missed the whole anime
I-
scene.
I remember not too long ago.
Which is be what?
What is not too long ago, buddy?
When you wanted details about the whole backstory for Ava,
Yeah, but what was that backstory?
that's where I remember.
Alright. I am going to assign you the homework just like you had for Muppet Treasure Island. When this video releases from Amethyst, please go back and watch it.
Okay.
What is Gocha doing during the evening?
Let's see. I don't think Gochin would be up to too much more.
Mm-hmm.
He'd probably really start just trying to kind of stay around Ava.
She's
see what
long
he's
gone.
on. Yeah, so that'd be like the most thing that he would do is just kind of like try to absorb as much knowledge from Ava at all times as possible.
Right. But this is for the evening, my friend, and it seems that Ava has all but vanished.
Hmm.
So, sounds like Gochin gets some rest and does some homework from books and scrolls he's been given.
Yeah.
Okay. You sleeping okay, one?
That was a long day.
I hear ya. I know your days can get to be a point where it's like crash on site when you get home.
I didn't even realize I was tired until I just woke up.
That's what food does for you when you have a long day. It's a food coma for a reason. So long as you're taking care of yourself in all those foreign lands you keep going to.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, to get back quickly, I went to get some foreign Wendy's.
How'd that go?
It's interesting. Although it's mostly the same, their McDonald's has a BLT rather than a double quarter pounder with cheese.
Huh.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Why would you even mess with that formula?
Well, you know how it goes.
Hmm.
Well, Athena, is there any pins or capstones you want to your evening?
Not really.
Hanging.
She's just hanging out with Roddy,
Okay.
trying to make up for the month that she just avoided everyone.
Very well. Suppose everyone will be able to return to their domiciles then. A night of reprieve had after a tense moment, a number of questions answered, and final preparations being taken care of before the call to action arrives. As on the next morning, you all can gather at some point, probably midday, I would guess. As Roddy would actually come to collect each of you and let you all know that Council's ready to kind of give what briefing it can. Do you all answer the call?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
After I get a cup of coffee.
Of course. Are you heading to the caravan for such a thing?
Yes, I'm not going to this town. I don't trust them.
But you go to the killing ground.
Well, because it was free.
Got him. uh, that said, we now know what to put in the box trap for Darlin. A thing of booze that says free.
Well, I mean, it was free, guys.
Yeah, so now you're in a box. I guess the box is free too.
It's a free home.
It's free real estate.
That said, as you all collect, you would see that the dwarven siblings are also in attendance to this little meeting, as is Valana,
Oh,
your caravan and fortune-telling lead.
yeah.
Cursed is actually the only council member in attendance currently, as it seems that Ruby is out and about doing things. But as you enter, Cursed would kind of nod to each of you. I hope you all got some appropriate sleep for the evening.
Eh.
I slept fine.
He gives a firm nod to Ava, who's also arrived. Please feel free to take a seat and go over what we've been able to discover for you, thanks to cross-referencing things with Vigil and other local scholars. I assume that most of you probably take your seats or lean against the wall, or lean up against Chompy's head poking into the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I sit down with my cup of coffee, look around at the rest of you, and go, something's different. But I just start sipping my coffee.
Self would whistle.
After taking the month to pursue the leads that you've brought us here at the council, we've been able to determine a few things, send a few scouts out, and get a little appraisal on the situation you all are looking to lead yourselves into. There has, in fact, been a sweeping recruitment of giants seeking to amount to something greater. Tribes seeming to follow this call, possibly in the attempts to work in unison. A gathering of giants this large is cause for alarm for any of the civilized nations. But so far, it's relatively minor where we presently are. The collection to this Minder Hall's Valley seems to also hold importance to the item which we Trunauans held below. The weapon you all carry, Agarmosh, seems to be one of a twin piece of giant history. Minder Hall's Valley is in reverence to the god of Minder, named Minder Hall, a giant god dedicated to the forge. In his honor, it seems that they had erected a massive cathedral on the face of a mountain they called Utorgeheim, at the very heart of this valley. Enshrined here were two powerful artifacts sacred to their patron, Minder Hall's forge and Agarmosh, the Hammer of Unmaking. While we were unable to track down the length and breadth of the history of these artifacts, or the nature
of how they became separated, or what has come of the valley in these many centuries following their first recorded notes of history. It is likely that the giants sought to claim such an artifact to bolster their armies. Whether or not this Grenseldeck understood what she was seeking is an entirely different point. As we've mentioned to your comrade Ava, giants of all walks are gathering. We've noted hill giants, bog giants, marsh giants. You've even caught the eyes of the occasional ash giant. A predominant amount of stone giants, making their own ripples within the Mindspin Mountains. It sounds like it's going to be quite the difficult mission, but I could see no others that would be able to be as capable of the task as you. Sending in a full-scale army will alert those that are likely in power as to what's up. And they may simply, out of hand, send their entire contingent of this giant army to sweep through the plainlands, taking out every village between here and Vigil. This cannot be allowed. So we look to you, a more moderate-sized strike force, talented and skilled. But it seems that there may yet be a way to bolster your already pre-established prowess. Kind of looks over to the dwarf twins. Aye, Ingrid began. She looks at the. Well, you all have collected the geode. That seems to be something else that they were hunting for. And between what we've been able to gather, this might actually be the tomb of our ancestor we were hunting for. So, if you'd allow, Umlo and I'd like to join your little merry band. Make sure our ancestor gets his due. And as a famed giant hunter, he's sure to have some trinkets that might be able to help you and your lot take the fight to these giants. Just a bit of extra measure.
Sylph will squint his eyes and go, what are your guys' knowledge on caravan axles?
Umlo would look to you and it's like, I ain't much of a wainwright, but I'm a mighty decent cook. And I know that if you break an axle, well, the wagon goes and, flops over, does a number of terrible things, so don't break the axle.
Alright. He looks over, Sylph will look over at the rest of the group and do you like the, yeah? Can they join us?
I'll be able to assist in helping your fair lass keep you fed. Got a few techniques that I can bring in from Yanderhof. And I'm not too unhandy with the pan arm, if you know what I mean. Kind of shows the mithril skillet that he carries.
I mean, we kind of have like a cook and stuff, though.
Aye. But it's always good to have a second hand.
Remember what it was
Last
like
I heard,
when we didn't have a cook?
But Jess is our cook.
Yes, but there was a time when she wasn't able to feed us a few times. It didn't go over so well. It's good to have a backup.
The light bulb turns on in Sylph's head. Ah, you're right.
between Ingrahild's ranging skills and my ability to keep people fed, I'm also pretty scrappy as a fighter here and there, considering that they tossed me in the pits a fair few times. I'll be able to offer a little more security for the caravan. Valana would also kind of step forward and look to each of you. Your trials ahead are going to be quite a bit more dangerous than your previous attempts. You, entering this domain, are about to enter a threshold which, turning back from, is going to prove quite difficult. Once you topple this domino, many more are going to begin to fall. Your names will be known by your enemies, and they will know you no peace until this is done. If you're sure you want to take to this task, please see my caravan at dawn tomorrow. But if you want to step away, now's your chance. For those that are looking for seeing this to the end, there's yet another challenge I might impart. Of course, with the reading of the cards. A question I might offer, some insight into whatever it is you are to face next. For now, that is what the caravan can provide. Chris would kind of clear his throat. Yes, well, considering the support that you have, and those that are willing to join you, we cannot delay much further in terms of sending out a force to tackle this threat in Minderhall's Valley. Now, while Vigil has been made aware of this issue, most of their main contingent is spent taking care of their borders, taking care of the defense of Verlich, watching over the Whispering Tyrant's resting place, as well as supplying the crusade up in the Whirlwind with contingent forces. They have, however, been able to offer us the network that they have when it comes to supplemental aid should the giant incursion become too much. The word is at least being spread, though not many have taken it seriously yet. I'm sure that with further evidence, we may have a rallied force should this storm tyrant decide to bring to bear something more terrifying than we can imagine. So I leave it to you, heroes. Whether you stay in this mission, or whether you go.
Darlin stays up and leaves.
Dolgus is privately thinking to himself that clearly these people have never had a dream vision of what Bakra can do when he's pissed off and unleashed. But or just Pinkskin imagination just drastically falls short.
Quite possibly. Dolgus may need to educate them. So Darlin just leaves?
Yep, just leave. Alright, I'm gonna go home now.
Alright. Yes, if you were gonna do that, you had the month to do so. So long as you got the coin, that was entirely possible.
I do. It's a simple. Take it.
Eva also did have time to craft things if people were looking for stuff to get crafted. She had another 18 days, so.
Yes, make sure to finalize your character sheets for this level, for the things you wanted crafted. Spend the money that you want now, for you will not likely get a town that can support a decent amount of wealth for probably the entirety of Book 3.
I think I spent all my money.
Yeah, I've only got a few hundred left.
Yeah.
Like, well, good news, guys. Before we'll have a massive loot split.
But yes, buying and selling in Book 3 is going to be quite difficult. We are about to enter the sandbox of a little bit of an, investigation into what these giants are into, and y'all are not going to be able to return to a town for quite a while.
Granted,
Can anyone put hexes on stuff? Like, are you allowed to put hexes on bullets or cartridges?
you can enchant things like ammunition, yes,
Okay.
but that does cost money and take time, so it depends on like the kinds of enchantments you'd like to put on ammunition.
Is anyone in the party able to do so?
Ava, do you have craft arms and armor?
No.
Okay. All right.
I know that
Shield
Darlin
has
has
clip
craft
markers.
armor.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Gochin, did you happen to pick up craft weapon? He might have.
No.
Okay. Yeah. It seems that your only option would probably have been Gochin's sister in order to get magically enchanted ammunition.
Okay.
So depending on how much money you have left and what you would like to spend that towards, we could probably talk shop in between sessions.
Yeah. Is there out of game? Well, about game, but is there any type of trait or ability or something like that that allows you to like gallivant around or perform for money?
That was part of the
You
profession checks.
can do that as a perform check, but you're not going to get a lot of money. Keep in
Right.
mind that adventure money scaling and commoner money scaling are like completely different things. You might get like beer money basically.
Okay, so is it kind of like tiers as in like bronze, silver, and gold?
No. So
Okay,
effectively, the way that this mechanic works is that if you're spending downtime in a civilization, like you guys had for this month, if you were deciding to spend some time for it, you could roll a profession, a craft check, or a perform check in order to make a certain amount of money over the course of that time. So Darlin spent a lot of his free time freelance working at Clamor to earn a little side coin, and I think he only earned like what, a couple hundred gold at best.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Normally, it would be regarded towards silver instead of gold. But considering the extent of work that some of the individuals are, and depending on like what kind of civilization you're in, I might bump it to gold, or I might just have you roll more dice depending on what that check ends up being.
Okay.
I'm a little looser with it because I know that such checks typically don't reward a lot. Like, by normal rules, you're getting silver equal to the thing that you rolled. So if you rolled 27, well, guess what, buddy? You just got 27 silver.
Oh, that's cool.
That's 2.7 gold for a week worth of work.
Oh,
Yeah!
never mind.
Yeah.
You really got to keep in mind the difference between like the amount of gold we're carrying on us right now or at least those carrying on right now has tied to Chompy like 600% gold. A commoner could use that over the course of their entire life and still have gold left.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have to consider it this way.
A nice meal is 5 silver.
Yep.
That's like
Oh.
that's like a restaurant that would cost $50 a meal now here right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, gold is like $100 a gold piece.
It's not exact like
Like as a rough rule of thumb.
measurement. But I mean, yeah, they'll get you in the ballpark at least. It's kind of like converting dollars to yen. You'll get in the
Okay.
ballpark. This won't be exactly correct.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no. And I think it's closer to like gold is more like $50. Pay $25 for a good meal at a restaurant.
I don't know what restaurants you're eating at that it's so cheap.
I mean, if you want like the super fancy stuff, then like yeah, you're paying $50. But like
Don't think.
for a fine meal, you know, for like a restaurant meal, which is what like a lot of like diners, inns, taverns, and things like that offer. Those aren't fancy per se. They're just better than what somebody's probably going to cook at home. $25. And to be fair, like base cost without drink and like other accoutrements, like if you go to like Olive Garden or if you go to like something equivalent, their base price
Also,
for like a
cost
steak.
of living is significantly lower than the modern world.
Right. Anywho, economics and Pathfinder aside, yeah,
D&D.
performing can get you some change, and I think that still definitely had time to make some cash. Don't remember whether or not I actually had you roll such a check. I see a profession check from Darlin.
Yeah, I don't think I rolled one.
Check. History, local. Just kind of seeing what people have rolled in the last little bit. Because I know Etna also has a profession check of her own.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's a leather worker.
Mm-hmm.
So, depending on whether you two wanted to do any amount of work during this month, you could roll your performer profession checks to earn a little bit of extra pocket change. You don't have to, but it is optional.
I might as well. There.
Okay. 18. So you got 180 gold.
Woo. I'm not as poor.
Does Sith want to roll his perform?
Let's see. Oh, I thought I had a thing made for it. I guess I do not.
It might be listed as sing.
Oh,
Or
I was
strings.
meaning in my hot bar.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Bardic performance.
Not bardic performance, just perform. It's a skill.
Oh,
So it's whichever perform you have.
what do we got? I'm in skills.
Mm-hmm.
Is it back? Oh, background.
Background.
Okay.
Singing his tail gets 290 gold.
Yeah.
As the town during this month is in a economic boom of sorts, and you know, as with the rest of the party, you know, they got the times 10 treatment. Get you guys the times 10 treatment. So you got a little bit of pocket
sing
change.
the songs like about Ava and Go-Chen, so that way, you know, if it catches on to the kids, you know, Go-Chen and Ava will hear tales of their adventure being sung throughout the town.
Making them sound like some bloody ass heroes.
Of course.
All right. Boop. Secret dice. Secret dice.
Just testing something.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. So you have the day to yourselves for your final bit of preparation. We can rule that this is kind of just your last chance for buying, selling, or, you know, taking care of any last little whims and wishes. If you have something, please be sure to send me a message. Or poke each other in the event that you're not sure what to spend money on if you want to spend money and are looking to, like, fill out that gap. But the question...
Is Roddy and Jess venturing back out with us?
I suppose you'll have to see who all is at the caravan in the morning.
Okay. Oh, God.
The question is are all of our players showing up at the caravan in the morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dolgus will be slowed down by the fact that all the kids want to say goodbye to Chompy, presumably.
And Gochin will be there.
Very well.
You sound like you're dying one.
He's almost
No,
there.
just tired.
Wow.
Save.
Hey, Daniel, you have competition.
Hey.
Does Ava show up?
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
well.
he's there.
As you all arrive in the morning, the caravan is ready to go, although it looks a little different. The caravan from which you had traveled before seemed a bit more. Well, there were 3 wagons, and now there's but the one. Except for it seems a bit longer than it used to be. Instead of the 4-wheel wagon setup, it now sports a long enough carriage for 8 wheels.
Oh.
The general Varesian like cloth and tapestries and things like that decorated this wooden wagon seem to have been replaced with something a bit more mundane, almost a little more blending in with mountainous-esque designs and color patterns. A lot of muted grays, dirty browns, and green foliage. As you each kind of make your way over, it seems that the coach to this wagon has several doors on the side, 3 in number. And the center one to the side kind of opens up, and, you can see that Valana has, kind of made her way out and looks to the party. Ah, appears that all of you are in attendance. Wonderful. You'll be happy to know that we are retaining those that wish to have traveled with us in our last little adventure. So we've made some accommodations to bunk up the space. Seems that you are all ready for danger. And danger you shall find. Winterhall's Valley is sure to become a challenge for you. Giants, dragons, magical creatures that would twist your head in wonder. But beware, there are those that see. There are those that see that which the mundane eye does not. They look into your pasts, they look into your presents, they look into your futures. Things to be cautious of as you move forward. The information that you share between each other, you may wish to be careful when entreating to new allies, or those that would attempt to curry favor with guiled intentions. You're going to need to make very difficult decisions moving forward. Not all of them you're going to be happy with. But I'm curious to see what history will say of your tale once it is all said and done. Now, as we travel, the caravan will be able to offer some limited amenities. As we are traveling into the mountains, the cold is going to become a bit more of an issue. Have you all cold weather gear?
No.
No.
Time to buy cold weather gear.
Very well.
Luckily, I was able to chat with those of the town and secure some in our preparations leading up to our venture to the Mindspin Mountains. Best to be
Oh.
prepared.
So we already have some for us. How much is that costing us? Out of character.
The town is not charging you a dime, a copper for them.
How much will it cost Dolgus to get enough hides or pelts or whatever to give Chompy a decent coverage?
You will find that a connection of mine is more than equipped to take care of Chompy's particular needs. Let us make our way inside the caravan. It will become a little more clear within. She gestures for you to enter the wagon.
Yeah.
Do each of you file in?
Yeah, Edna
Yeah.
goes in.
As I'm sure that there's probably a worry that Chompy may not fit. Dolgus, if you turn back to look to see whether or not Chompy is attempting to follow you, you would find that as you make your way into the caravan, Chompy follows in suit, but almost as if
I figured he'd just be
strange
sticking his head in.
Well, there's the thing. As he goes to stick his head in order to follow after, at least see what's going on, you find that Chompy shrinks down to a size a little more accommodating for such a space.
Mini
Cheating.
Chompy. Mini Chompy. And I run and pick Chompy up.
He is still about a medium size, maybe a little smaller, but he is definitely able to suitably fit within this carriage. As you all enter, you are entreated to a warm atmosphere, almost akin to like a more outfitted barracks of sorts. There are bunks for each of you with your own chest. There are, designated spots where you can hang your gear, retool some things, basic workbenches, and like. At the forefront of this barracks, the entryway is watched by an individual who seems to give you all at least a respectful nod, but does not seem to speak much. Within the room beyond the barracks, there seems to be almost a quartermaster's kind of area. It is here that Jess and another unfamiliar face seem to hang about. Jess seems to take stock of what the caravan has, while this individual almost follows her, every hanging word. But still gives you this, blank but respectful nod as each of you have entered. On the opposite side, if you look to the right, heading towards the front of the caravan, you would see that there seems to be a room dedicated to more of like a mess hall of sorts. Luncheons and the like. It seems that Umlo has taken to looking about, and you can see some of Jess's trademark, recipe cards and papers and notes scattered all about as he seems to be sussing out what kind of menu she was operating off of before. Ingerhild casually lingers not too far away, just kind of relaxed in a wooden bench kind of style setup. Within the barracks, you would also note that Calrian and Roddy are both here, kind of staking their claim to their own bunks within this area. While you cannot currently see Kogan and Dregar, you are
assured that they are in fact here and seeing to other matters to get the caravan ready and able to leave at a moment's notice. There are a few other disparate faces that seem to be wandering around the caravan itself, handling a few things, but their expressions are removed of worry or any form of hang-ups about anything that might be going on. Just a simple, quiet, respectful nod is given to each of you.
Sylph would nod back.
And so it is here that you will each be able to stay whilst the caravan is able to travel along with you. There may come times where you'll need to find your own camping arrangements as you navigate your ways deeper into enemy territory.
One might find that almost easier, actually, because then the hired campsite can't work when there's such a big group.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
You'll find that basic amenities are able to be found throughout. If you have questions, any of the staff here will be able to assist you, though they may not be able to answer every question that you give them. Outside of this, you'll find me at the lead of the caravan rooms. When you're all settled, and if you all desire, I can offer you and your party a reading for the future to come. But for now, please, feel free to get acclimated. We could be underway whenever you give us the go-ahead. It should be about a week in order to reach the initial destination. I do believe that we are following the geode and its map to this Tomb of Nogram Steelhand.
That's a long name. Can you repeat that question?
I believe that our initial destination is the Tomb of Nogram Steelhand, the famed giant hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
Very well, then. As I mentioned before, it should take us about a week in order to reach our destination. By all accounts, I'm hoping that with the way that we have things set, we should be able to avoid most notice as we travel the lesser traversed lands of Belkson. While the flood truce may have ended, I am hoping that the orcs have gotten wise to the ways of things as of recent. So, settle in and we shall be on our way.
Sylph would make himself at home, sit Indian style, cross-legged.
You all may pick your own bunks and things of that accord. You may chat with any of the NPCs for a moment, or inspect any questionable qualities that you deem at this present moment. Any final questions for me?
Well,
Nope.
Little surprised, but all right. Magic wagon and nobody raises an eyebrow.
Well,
Shame.
we've seen quite a bit so far.
If you want to have your TARDIS wagon, I mean, it's not the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
I hear you.
Ava would have been disappointed at anything less.
Well, I believe that is all I have for tonight's session. If you all wish to, for the hero reading at the top of the next session, we can certainly do that. And
Is
we'll-
this kind of like the wagon from Jade Regent.
A little bit. A little
Okay.
inspired, but it is definitely more fit to handle the needs of this party.
Yes.
The Magic School Bus.
Miss Valana.
That said, this is also my way of making things a little easier for the trek ahead for the NPCs to have their own refuge and handle certain things depending on how the adventure plays out.
Oh, this is gonna be nice. There's gonna be so many rooms and spaces and stuff to do inside the caravan.
That said, it is not a Deus Ex Machina that can just fix all of your problems. There will still be plenty of challenges ahead. So, be ready for them. We'll start next
Does
session
it have
off
a
with.
barista within there?
Does it have a what?
A coffee bar.
I mean, Kogan runs it, but yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, your alchemist has not left you without coffee. Although your supply is not infinite. Keep that in mind.
We're gonna have to find a way to grow coffee beans.
Or trade for them. Or
Or trade
find
for
them
them.
somewhere else. Who knows? Maybe there are giants that also partake in particularly large beans from a beanstalk.
That'd be fun.
But yeah. Next session we start book 3 proper. And we
Oh,
start
jeez.
getting into the depths of things. So please, again, make sure if there are alterations or purchases that you want to have finalized for your characters, that they are done by when we next meet. Because there will be no turning back from there on. I will be looking at them before we play next session.
Okay.
Sorry, repeat that.
If you have any alterations, any level up, queries, purchases, so on and so forth.
No. I just need to get my. I just need to figure out how to do a macro for my wild shape and get that all done.
Okay. That said, Andrew, though, if you need, we can also settle some more of those summon things that you would like for.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can make some spare tokens for you to tinker with and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you at least have those on hand. I've got a companion below the companions tab. I do have a summons tab. So I can give you like 5 or 6 depending. Maybe more if you want to
It's
like.
usually, I mean, like looking at the summons list, there's only like usually 1 or 2 per list I actually want to, or I think I'll be worried about having, ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Barring,
if you.
I guess, something really circumstantial.
Yep, if you want to even just send those, base monsters to me, I could just drag them over from the bestiary and have them like base set for you, so you can
Mhm.
do all the alterations and feat things that you've got for that.
Yeah, I can. I mean, I can make a buff for like augment summoning easy enough, and then I guess variant buffs for the other thing I got that swaps that out.
Yep, and any sheet that you have control of, you should be able to drag and drop or copy those buffs from one sheet to another anyway. So.
Weird, but okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, because that's how I did it for some of the other buffs for a couple of the other games. I was just able to like drag a buff from one character sheet to another, and it made that for it.
Yep,
Okay,
it's super nice.
cool.
Yeah. So you only really have to make the buff once.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I just need to make 5 buffs.
Fair enough. But yeah, we're ending a little earlier than normal, but
That's fine.
it's a
It's not like I've
pretty
never
good
done that
place for a segue. So I
I'll
hope
catch y'all
everybody had
later.
fun.
Yes, it was fun.
I have homework for those that missed out on
That's good.
things, or I need the details in their head as to how that backstory plays out, and I might have to send back other ideas because yeah.
Yes.
So
Catch y'all later.
Catch y'all later.
Later.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.